Okay, so today we're diving into something that's going to make a huge impact on businesses worldwide.
Yeah, it's a big one.
How AI is changing the landscape of business process outsourcing,
BPO.
EPO. And this is kind of your cheat sheet to understanding how AI is like, well, changing everything
Mm-hmm.
from customer service to HR and what that means for all of us.
Right.
And for the global economy as a whole, we've got some really interesting questions that we're going to dig into.
Yeah, should be a fascinating deep dive.
Yeah, it should be. Our mission here is to really give you a clear picture of what we're facing.
The good and the bad.
The opportunities.
Yeah,
The good, the bad, and the ugly. The challenges ahead.
exactly. And I think you've laid out a good framework for how we can kind of explore that. How AI's integration into BPO is impacting everything from the cost to the actual customer experience.
Yeah, absolutely. So BPO, I mean, some people might not be familiar with it, but it's basically when a company says, you know what, we're not going to do this in-house. We're going to outsource this specific task to specialists.
Yeah, you get the experts to do it.
Get the experts. Could be a call center,
Right.
could be an IT help desk, could be payroll.
Anything, really.
It's often driven by cost
Sure.
or wanting to focus on your core business.
Mm-hmm.
And, this has been happening for decades. But what's really changed, I'd say, in the past 10 years or so.
It's definitely evolved.
Yeah.
I think what we're seeing now is just this widening scope of what DPO is.
Oh, okay.
And the sophistication of it as well.
Right.
So we're moving beyond just those basic tasks
Yeah.
to more complex processes.
Right.
And that's really being fueled by the technology that's available now and just the growing acceptance of this, this remote work that's happening all over the globe.
Yeah, globalization for sure.
Absolutely.
And I mean, that brings us right to the heart of this, which is AI. How is AI being used in BPO currently?
So right now we're seeing a lot of AI use in automating those routine tasks.
Yeah, the stuff nobody wants to do.
Exactly. That's where you see things like RPA,
Oh.
robotic process automation coming in.
Mm-hmm.
It's handling a lot of the repetitive digital work.
Okay.
So things that people were doing before, computers are doing now.
Yeah, it sounds very Terminator-esque, but hopefully, hopefully it's not that scary.
No. This is the good AI, we hope.
Fingers crossed.
But yeah, you also see things like chatbots.
Oh, yeah, those are everywhere.
They're everywhere. They're usually your first line of support when you go to a website for customer support. And then you've got AI-powered analytics.
Okay.
That's helping businesses make smarter decisions.
Yeah.
They can really get a lot more information from their data.
Right, so it's like AI doing the analysis that a human would have had to do before.
Exactly, yeah. And one of the big tools there is natural language processing.
NLP.
NLP, that's the one. It helps these systems understand and respond to us.
Right, human language.
Yeah, so it's getting very sophisticated.
So the big question, of course, on everyone's mind, are robots going to take our jobs?
That's the question, isn't it?
Is AI going to take everyone's jobs in BPO?
Well, the trend, at least right now, seems to be more towards AI assisting us rather than replacing us completely.
Okay.
So it's more about augmenting what humans can do.
Right, like a partnership.
Exactly, like a partnership. AI can take care of all that high-volume, repetitive work.
Yeah, the boring stuff.
The boring stuff, exactly. And that frees people up to do more of the complex problem-solving, the strategic thinking.
Right, the stuff that humans are good at.
Right, the stuff that requires a human brain. So in a way, it's actually boosting efficiency and accuracy.
Right.
Because you're taking out the human error. You're speeding things up.
That makes sense. But what about the people who are currently doing those routine tasks?
Right.
What are they going to do? What skills are they going to need to learn?
Well, they're going to need to adapt, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And the skills that are going to be in demand are things like data analysis, right? Managing AI systems.
So understanding how the AI works.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And then those uniquely human skills,
Okay.
things like critical thinking,
Right.
complex communication.
Right.
So being able to communicate effectively with other people.
So we're not obsolete yet.
Not yet, Sonia.
Okay, good. Good to know. So, investing in training.
Yes, absolutely.
Upskilling.
Huge.
That's going to be key.
That's going to be essential for the workforce to adapt to this new world.
Absolutely. Okay, well, let's talk about cost. How does AI affect, the money side of BPO?
Well, there's an initial investment in the AI technology.
Right.
So you have to, get the systems, get them up and running. But the potential for lower labor costs in the long term, that's a big incentive for companies.
Yeah, saving money is always good.
Always good. So companies are really looking at the ROI.
Return on investment.
Return on investment, exactly. And they're seeing that through greater efficiency, improved customer satisfaction. But it's not quite as simple as just, plugging in a robot and saving money.
Right.
You have to factor in those hidden costs.
Okay.
Implementing these systems, integrating them with what you already have, maintenance,
Right.
all of that adds up.
Yeah, the tech headaches.
Exactly.
Well, speaking of customers, how does AI change the experience for the customers on the other end of these outsourced services?
Oh, it can definitely change things for the better.
Okay.
For example, faster response times,
Yeah.
AI-powered systems, they can work 24/7.
They don't need sleep.
They don't need to sleep.
They don't need coffee breaks.
No coffee breaks, no vacations. And it also opens up the door for much more personalized experiences.
Okay, how so?
Well, through data analysis.
Okay.
So the AI can look at all this data about you
Mm-hmm.
and tailor recommendations.
Right.
Or even provide proactive support.
So it's like they know what you need before you even need it.
Yeah, kind of creepy, but also kind of cool.
It is kind of cool. Okay, well, what about the future? What are some of the AI technologies that you think are, you know, really going to make a splash in BPO?
So I think we're going to see predictive analytics play a much bigger role.
Okay.
And that's all about anticipating future needs.
Okay, so getting ahead of the game.
Exactly. And then, of course, machine learning is going to keep getting more advanced, leading to even smarter automation.
Okay.
And then there's this thing called hyperautomation.
Hyper-automation.
Hyperautomation. It's basically using a bunch of different automation technologies together
Okay.
in a coordinated way to streamline entire processes.
Okay.
So it's not just automating one task, it's automating the whole thing.
So even more streamlining.
Yeah, it's like automation on steroids.
Right.
So I think that's going to be a big one. And, all of this is probably going to change how companies choose their BPO partners.
Right,
They're going to be looking for those AI capabilities.
Yeah, makes sense. So the big question, will this mean more companies bring jobs back to, to the U.S., to their home countries? Or is offshore BPO just going to become even more efficient with AI?
Well, it's probably going to be a little bit of both.
Okay.
AI could definitely make automation more cost-effective domestically.
Right.
So we might see some reshoring happening.
Okay.
But at the same time, it's also going to make those offshore BPO providers even more efficient,
Right.
even more capable. So it's kind of a double-edged sword.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Well, so what are the biggest challenges and opportunities that AI is presenting for BPO providers?
So the challenges, the big ones, are integrating AI successfully, managing all of the data that's involved.
Right, which is a lot.
It's a lot of data. And finding people with the right skills.
Right, people who understand AI.
Exactly.
And can work with it.
Exactly. And for smaller providers, competing on that investment, that's going to be tough.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to keep up.
But there are opportunities, too.
Okay, good.
Specialization, finding a niche, partnerships, and really focusing on that human expertise that AI can't replicate.
Okay.
Highlighting what makes us human.
Yeah, that makes sense. So for our listeners out there, it's pretty clear that AI is about to change the world of BPO.
Yeah, big time.
Big time. And it's bringing with it some really exciting possibilities, better efficiency, better customer experiences. But it also means we need to think seriously about how our workforce is going to adapt.
Yeah, we've got to be prepared for the changes.
Absolutely. And it really makes you wonder, as AI becomes like an integral part of how businesses just operate in general, how will we even define outsourcing in the future?
That's a great question.
Yeah. I mean, could we see entirely new kinds of collaboration?
Oh, absolutely. I think we're just at the beginning of this.
Yeah.
Between companies and these specialized tech providers.
It's going to be interesting to watch.
It is. It's an exciting time.
Well, on that note, that's our deep dive for today.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was great. And for everyone listening, thanks for tuning in to the deep dive. We'll see you next time.